Do you know what it's like to give everything to someone who acts like you're nothing more than a function? That is my story.
The elevator doors slid shut between them. Amara didn't look back. She held her phone tightly in her palm, her heart racing, not because she was scared, but because for the first time in 4 years, she was choosing herself. Behind her, in the glass office that ruled half of Seoul's business district, Han Jun-suk stood frozen. He told himself it was nothing. Assistants left all the time. Yet the silence that followed her departure was louder than any boardroom argument he'd ever won. He checked the clock. 6:07 p.m. She had never left this early. Not once. His jaw tightened. At the restaurant across the city, Amara sat across from Daniel, forcing herself to breathe. He smiled easily, spoke gently, asked questions no one had ever asked her before, about her dreams, her childhood, her plans beyond work. "You don't talk about your boss much," Daniel said lightly. She smiled. "There isn't much to say." But there was. There was everything. Back at the office, Jun-suk called her phone. It rang. Once. Twice. No answer. A sharp, unfamiliar sensation cut through his chest. Anger. No, panic. "She'll call back," he muttered. She didn't. That night, he replayed every moment he'd ignored her. Every time she'd stood quietly while he dismissed her ideas, every late night she stayed without complaint, every subtle look he'd never returned. He hadn't ignored her because she didn't matter. He'd ignored her because she mattered too much. The next morning, Amara walked into the office right on time. Calm. Professional. Distant. She placed his schedule neatly on his desk. "Good morning, sir." No warmth. No softness. Just formality. Jun-suk looked up, searching her face. "You left early yesterday." "Yes, sir." "With no notice." "I completed my duties." His fingers tightened around his pen. "You were unavailable." "I was off the clock." The words stung more than they should have. "You're different," he said. "People change." "Because of him?" Her eyes met his, steady and unafraid. "Because I remembered who I was before I became invisible." That was when it hit him. He was losing her. And for the first time in his life, Han Jun-suk didn't know how to take something back without destroying it. Before I continue, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification to know when next we drop jaw-dropping Afro-Korean romance story, and tell us where you are watching from. Back to the story. Amara kept her distance that entire week. She arrived exactly on time. Left exactly on time. Did her job with flawless precision, and nothing more. No late nights. No quiet jokes. No gentle reminders that saved him from himself. Han Jun-suk noticed everything. He noticed how the office felt colder. How meetings dragged without her calm presence anchoring the room. How his executives hesitated more, unsure who would quietly smooth things over when his patience ran thin. On Thursday, it snapped. "You're attending the charity gala with me tonight," he said without looking up from his tablet. Amara paused. "That wasn't on the schedule." "I'm adding it." She inhaled slowly. "I'm unavailable." That word again. He looked up sharply. "You don't get to be unavailable." "I do," she said evenly. "Outside office hours." The room went still. "You're dating him," he said, not a question. "Yes." The answer landed like a blow. "He's using you." "You don't know that." "I know men," Jun-suk said coldly. "Especially the ones who get close to my world." She folded her arms. "And what about you? You've been close to my world for 4 years. What exactly were you doing?" He had no answer. That night, the gala glittered with power and cameras. When Amara arrived on Daniel's arm instead of Jun-suk's, the whispers spread instantly. An African woman in a midnight blue dress. Confident. Radiant. Chosen. Jun-suk saw them from across the room. Daniel leaned in to say something. Amara laughed, openly, freely. Jun-suk's chest tightened. Executives spoke to him. Investors smiled. None of it registered. All he could see was the way Daniel's hand rested protectively at Amara's back. Too familiar. Too public. "Isn't that your assistant?" someone asked lightly. Jun-suk's voice came out sharp. "She's not my assistant tonight." As if summoned, Amara looked up and met his gaze across the room. For a second, everything else disappeared. Then Daniel did something that shattered the last of Jun-suk's restraint. He lifted Amara's hand and kissed her knuckles. A clear claim. Jun-suk crossed the room without thinking. "Amara," he said tightly. "A word." Daniel smiled politely. "Is this about work?" "Because she's off tonight." Jun-suk's eyes never left her face. "You're leaving. Now." Amara shook her head. "No. I'm staying." "You're making a mistake." Her voice dropped. "So did you. For 4 years." Silence fell between them, heavy, charged. Daniel sensed it. "I'll get us drinks," he said gently, stepping away. The moment he left, Jun-suk's control cracked. "You're doing this to punish me. I'm doing this to live." "You belong," he stopped himself too late. Her eyes hardened. Finish that sentence. He couldn't. Because the truth was ugly. Because he had treated her like something that would always stay. "You don't get to decide when I matter," she said softly. "Or who chooses me." She turned away. And that was when everything went wrong. Jun-suk's head of security appeared at his side, whispering urgently. "The man she's with," he said. "He's connected to the rival syndicate in Busan. We confirmed it tonight." Jun-suk's blood ran cold. Across the room, Daniel returned to Amara, with a smile that suddenly looked too practiced. Too calculated. And for the first time since meeting him, Amara felt a chill she couldn't explain. She didn't see Jun-suk already moving toward her. She didn't hear him call her name. But she was about to learn that some misunderstandings don't just break hearts. They put lives in danger. Daniel's smile faltered for just a second when he noticed Jun-suk approaching again. Amara didn't miss it this time. "Are you okay?" she asked quietly. "Of course," Daniel said, too quickly. "Just, a lot of powerful people in one room." Jun-suk stopped in front of them, his expression unreadable. "Amara," he said, controlled. "We need to leave. Now." Her patience snapped. "You don't get to pull rank on my personal life. This isn't about rank. Then stop acting like you own me." Daniel stepped closer to her, placing himself slightly in front of her without asking. "She's with me," he said calmly. "Whatever you need can wait." That single sentence was the spark. Jun-suk's eyes darkened, not with jealousy alone, but with alarm. "You have no idea what you've stepped into," he said to Daniel. Daniel chuckled. "Is that a threat?" "It's a warning." Amara looked between them. "Enough. I'm not a prize you two fight over." She turned to Daniel. "Let's go." Jun-suk's hand caught her wrist before he could stop himself. She stiffened instantly. "Don't touch me," she said, her voice low. The room seemed to hold its breath. He released her immediately, as if burned. "He's not safe," he said urgently. "Please. Just listen to me for once." Daniel's jaw tightened. "You're scaring her." "No," Jun-suk snapped. "You are." Security shifted closer. Eyes watched. Phones lifted. Amara felt it then, the weight in the air, the sudden tension that had nothing to do with romance. "What aren't you telling me?" she asked Jun-suk. Before he could answer, Daniel leaned in close to her ear. "We should go. Now. The word now felt wrong. Amara pulled back. Why? For the first time since she'd met him, Daniel didn't smile. Because this isn't a place for you, he said quietly. That was when it clicked. Not fear. Calculation. She stepped away from him slowly. Jun-suk spoke again, softer now. Amara, he's connected to people who don't forgive easily. People who would use you to get to me. Her heart pounded. So this is about you. It started that way, he admitted. But now it's about keeping you alive. Daniel exhaled sharply, dropping all pretense. You should have stayed in your lane, billionaire. The word landed like a slap. Around them, the music continued. Laughter echoed. No one noticed the quiet war unfolding in plain sight. You followed me, Amara said to Daniel, disbelief creeping in. The coffee shop. The hospital fundraiser. None of it was random. Daniel's eyes flicked to the exits. I didn't plan to like you. That's not an answer. Jun-suk stepped between them fully now. You're done. Daniel smiled again, but this time, it didn't reach his eyes. This isn't over. Security closed in, smoothly escorting him away without a scene. Amara stood frozen. The man she thought had chosen her was gone. And the man she accused of control was standing there, visibly shaken. You lied to me, she whispered to Jun-suk. Yes. You watched me. You decided for me. I was wrong, he said, voice tight. But if I hadn't, you wouldn't be standing here. Tears burned her eyes, not from fear, but from the cruel truth settling in. You don't get credit for protecting me after ignoring me for years. I know. For the first time, he looked human. Not powerful. Not untouchable. Just a man who had waited too long. The gala buzzed back into focus. Cameras flashed. Whispers spread. Amara picked up her clutch. I need air, she said. She walked away alone this time. And Jun-suk let her. Because he finally understood something that terrified him more than any enemy. If he wanted her to stay, he couldn't command it. He would have to ask. And she might still say no. Outside, the night air was sharp and cold. Amara stood on the balcony overlooking Seoul, gripping the railing as the city lights blurred. Her hands were shaking, not from fear anymore, but from the emotional whiplash of the night. She heard footsteps behind her but didn't turn. I told them not to follow you, Jun-suk said quietly. I didn't ask you to protect me, she replied. Again. I know. He stopped a careful distance away. I'm not here to control anything. She laughed softly, bitterly. That's new. Silence settled between them, heavier than before. You hum when you're nervous, he said suddenly. She stiffened. You noticed that? You always did it during negotiations, he continued. When you thought no one was paying attention. Her chest tightened. So you were watching. Yes, he admitted. Just never the way I should have. She finally turned to face him. Do you know what it's like to give everything to someone who acts like you're nothing more than a function? I do now, he said. Because I felt it tonight. She studied him, searching for arrogance, manipulation, anything familiar. She didn't find it. Instead, she found regret. Daniel wasn't supposed to matter, Jun-suk said quietly. He was a threat. A calculated move by people who hate me. I thought if I kept distance, if I stayed cold, you'd be safe. And what about me, she asked. Did you ever consider how lonely that made me? His throat worked. Every night. The honesty stunned her more than anger ever had. You could have told me, she whispered. I was afraid, he said. Afraid that if I crossed that line, I wouldn't be able to step back. Afraid I'd ruin you with my world. She shook her head. You don't get to decide what ruins me. I know. Another pause. Then, softly, I love you. The words weren't dramatic. They weren't loud. They were terrifying. She closed her eyes, breath hitching. You don't get to say that now, she said. Not after years of silence. Not after tonight. I'm not asking you to forgive me, he said. I'm asking you to leave. Her eyes snapped open. What? I'm resigning you, he said steadily. Effective immediately. Full severance. Protection. A clean slate. She stared at him, stunned. You're firing me? No, he said. I'm freeing you. So what? You decide when I go too. This is the last decision I'll make for you, he said. If you stay, it won't be because you have to. The city hummed below them. She saw it then, the real risk. If she stayed, it would be because she chose him. Not obligation. Not habit. Choice. And if I walk away, she asked. I'll let you, he said. And I won't follow. That promise cost him everything. It showed in his eyes. Amara took a step back. Then another. For a moment, she thought she really would leave. Instead, she